This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories are the FCC gets 90,000 plus comments from Starlink customers just like me. Twitter says it handles 1 million bot takedowns a day. Amazon wants you watching its live influencers. The European Union is going to put a digital governor, on all cars by 2024. I want to welcome you to episode 1610 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, July 7th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. When you're on your website, all you got to do is go to the right-hand column and subscribe or follow the podcast, or sign up for our newsletter. Our newsletter contains everything I'm going to talk about during the show, delivered directly to your inbox immediately following the publishing of this podcast. Of course, you can always join our chat room at geeknews.chat or on Discord. You can always reach me at geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Twitter at geeknews. Feel free to follow me on Facebook. And, of course, all the partner shows that we have here at geeknewscentral.com are linked at the top of the website at geeknewscentral.com with shows like the New Media Show, the Pro Gear Site, the Gadget Professor, Podcast Legends, GNC Weekend Review with Kirk and Scott. Lots of options there to consume content, get connected with all of our shows. We appreciate it when you do. Of course, this show is sponsored by the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast, and that's our good friends at GoDaddy.com. We want you to take advantage of the savings. Really, the savings are easy to lock in. Very, very simple. Go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, and you're going to find all of my promo codes, whether it be a 30% off new product purchase, a $4.99.com or new or transfer domains for new customers only, or a $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain, or $2.99 a month for managed WordPress hosting for the first year. Again, includes a free domain, a free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. That's a 1 month free trial. Definitely check out all my codes. All my customers here save on average about 90% on their first purchases, along with continued savings throughout the time that they use the products and services. Your support of the sponsor supports this show, allows us to do what we do. And we appreciate it when you step up and support the sponsor, GoDaddy. So again, definitely get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy to check out all those great deals. As a reminder, the Podcast Award nominations are still open. They are open until July 31st. Go over there and vote for your favorite shows. And if you have a show that you find that's not in there, remind them to get registered so you can. Lots of crazy stuff going on here. It rained like crazy earlier in the week. We needed it badly. Almost 4 inches of rain. Just almost like the corn and soybeans, it's almost like you could see them growing after that rain came in. So it was fabulous that we had it. In parts of the country still without rain, but we got more than our fair share, and it was absolutely incredible, and some incredible lightning and thunderstorms too. I was woken up about 3:15 in the morning to just this incredible light show that went on for at least an hour and a half. It was really, I've never seen I've seen lightning as bad as this was, but boy, oh boy, it was intense. And I'll put it in probably the top 5 or so that I've seen in my most recent recollection, at least. But it's been a very busy work week here, with it being a short week. Coming off the holidays, it's actually kind of tough to get back in the swing of things. It was nice because I took Friday afternoon off, and then it was all the way through Monday coming Tuesday, and it was nice. It really, really was. But the live video experimentation is continuing here at Geek News Central. And if you're watching the show, if you have some ideas, I would love your thoughts on what we're doing here. And let me know if it's something that's working for you, or if I need to change it up. But let me know. So just give you an idea. Everything's clear here. I'm going to be with you unless I try to take some time off. But I don't think I'm going to be all the way through the month of July. I think there is a short term I have to go to Columbus. I know for sure the first week of August, go down there for a few days. There should be a Monday show. Then I think I drive down Tuesday the 2nd. There'll probably no show on the 4th of August. But then things kind of get crazy starting around the 22nd of August. And I'll actually be out 2 full weeks. And I leave Monday the 22nd, and I get back Monday the 5th after Labor Day. So 2 full weeks on the road, 3 cities. I'm doing some big presentations in Dallas, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. Dragon Con Atlanta, Celebration Nation for Vegas, and of course the event at Podcast Movement. So lots of activities going on for 2 weeks in late August, and then really it's kind of back here cranking away again until October. And in October, I'm going to be going to Reno, Nevada for a Navy. One of the squadrons I was in many years ago for the Navy. I'm going to go for a reunion. So I'm looking forward to that. First one of those I've been able to attend ever. So going to take a few days and go out there and do that. Airline tickets are crazy. Are crazy right now. So I'm actually burning some points, mileage to attend some of these events, just because it's like $1,000 to fly out to Reno. And I'm just like, no, I'm not using that much money to go to a reunion. So I cashed in some miles, but yeah, it's pretty wild right now, the price of everything out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the content tonight. I got a good stack of stuff here for you to get into. I know we're here in the middle of really what is the I guess the doldrums of summer. And but I appreciate your folks' ongoing continuous listening and watching of the show. It's greatly appreciated. But I got an email from Starlink a couple of weeks ago asking me to sign a petition that was submitted to the FCC about Dish. And the word on the street is they got about 90,000 plus comments already. And essentially, this article on Ars Technica goes into the gist of the concern on frequency issues, but it really runs it home. They quoted some of the folks that were that had commented. An example, someone said, I have a ranch in rural Texas with the very satellite internet services in the area were so slow as to be unusable with today's internet needs. We installed Starlink. The service is on par with services in the city. It's the only viable internet service for our needs. Another one says, I live in a rural county of Northern California, and we don't have other options for internet. We otherwise have frequent outages and pay a lot more than what Starlink charges for subpar service. Another person living in a remote location in Wisconsin, access high-speed internet is limited. Starlink provides this type of internet service, while most provided areas are limited and have data capes. It's the 21st century. High-speed internet without data capes should be the norm. I'm a Starlink user, and it's the only reasonable internet provider in my rural area. With access to Starlink, I'd be unable to work from my home, and my property value would be significantly diminished. Someone said, I'm a farmer, and we had no service until Starlink was available. I had experienced Dish internet in the past, and is not reliable for commercial purposes. Dish is mostly known for satellite TV. It also launched DishNet satellite service in 2012 that was apparently discontinued in 2017. And another person said, before I received Starlink, I could only access the internet using a mobile hotspot, and the system was horrible. I had to leave my home and use public Wi-Fi to download movies and games. With Starlink, I'm able to download movies and games as quick as I could when I had cable internet. Please do not allow Dish Network to cause interference with Starlink. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the gist, the ongoing riff that we have in this country of those that have high-speed internet and those that don't. Here I'm sitting in my office. I've got high-speed internet. Works no problem. I can stream live. And yet, up until about a month and a half ago, where I live 12 miles away, very subpar internet access. So anyway, link will be up in the show notes. You can check this out, but we'll see if the FCC reacts at all. Twitter, they're saying they're insisting, according to The Verge, it has bots handled that claims it blocks 1 million spammers every day. The question is, if it's handling spammers, how come it's not shutting the accounts down? It kicks over 1 million spam accounts off its platform each day. That's a big number. That's double the number CEO Parag Aral said in May, though the company maintains its long-held position that bots make up less than 5% of its active user base. Apparently, the Twitter deal has become a sticking point, and it's some reports out that the CEO over at Starlink and Tesla, Elon Musk, might be getting cold feet, or maybe he's just positioning to offer a little bit less for that property, which I would think that might be more the case. So this next article is very, very curious. And I've heard, I was talking with someone, a friend of mine that used to work with the Tech Podcast Network, that does this type of live streaming on Amazon. And they're shilling products. And a lot of people are doing this. Now, I've never went and examined what's going on with this. But apparently there's a whole bunch of people that are doing nothing but shilling Amazon products on Amazon Live. And they're getting ready to ramp this up for Prime Day to help drive sales. So I don't have a regular television anymore. And I think back in the old days, or maybe they're still in existence, QVC was available. And a lot of people watch QVC. And I think that what Amazon's trying to really tap into is exactly that. They're trying to create a QVC for Amazon Prime Day. But this just goes on alive. The company believes Amazon Live is one answer to its current struggle, and its decision to lean harder on influencers for Prime Day is an effort to reach easily influenced shoppers, mainly Gen Z, in a time when the creator economy is expanding. I've bought enough stuff off Amazon for a while. I could probably shill a number of products that I do like, that I actually have bought. And so it's an interesting move here from that standpoint. So I don't know. Would you be willing to watch a QVC type Amazon Live type of presentation? That's a good question. So anyway, the event will feature celebrity cameos from Kevin Hart, Australian model Miranda Kerr, actress Kyle Richards, as well as American TV personalities Candy Buress and Selling Sunset star Krishy Stas. Viewers watching the Prime Day live streams can purchase the featured products and brands through a scrolling carousel below the video. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But if any of you watch any of these Amazon Lives, I would love to hear from you and let me know what you think about their effectiveness. In the most surprising article of the day, and if I was leaving the EU, I would be very, very, very irritated. The EU will require all new cars to include anti-speeding tech by 2024. Yes, anti-speeding tech by 2024. The policy applies to all new cars entering the European market. So imagine you buy a vehicle and it basically will not allow you to go much over the speed limit. Every new car sold in the European Union will soon include anti-speeding technology known as intelligent speed assistance. The regulation goes into effect today and states that all new models and types of cars introduced to the European market must include an ISA system. The policy doesn't apply to any new cars that are in showrooms today, at least not yet, but by July of next year, or of 2024, every new car sold in the EU must have a built-in anti-speeding system. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this being rolled out here in the United States, where it was an anti-speeding controller that won't allow you to drive over the much over? I don't know what its allowance is, but it's pretty shocking that they would do this. But they say this is all in safety. They want to make sure people are going to be safely driving. Many drivers in Europe are already using ISA-equipped vehicles. I would love to hear from someone in this audience that has one of these already. I really, really would. Are you forced? What's the experience like? Again, for those unfamiliar with the ISA, term describes a whole raft of systems that can detect road speeds via front-mounted cameras, GPS data, or both, depending on the specific ISA and how it's configured. By the driver, the technology can provide reminder feedback about the speed limit, automatically adjust cruise control to match a road speed, or even reduce power to the motor to slow speeding vehicles. So, Honda, Ford, Jeep, Mercedes-Benz have many vehicles there with these systems already, and they feel it could reduce fatalities between 26 and 50%. I don't know. I just don't think Americans would go for this very well. What say you? geeknews@gmail.com. geeknews@gmail.com. The International Space Station astronaut rocks Battlestar Galactica Starbuck cosplay in orbit. So this is pretty cool. ESA astronaut Samantha, and boy, I'm going to destroy her last name, Cristoforetti, is a big sci-fi fan. As a matter of fact, she has done one of these cameo appearances before in a Star Trek outfit. But she's on her second visit to the International Space Station, and she took time out of her science schedule to dress up as Starbuck from the Battlestar Galactica reboot, and I didn't even know this was going on, and addressed the FedCon Science Fiction and Fantasy Convention. The astronaut beamed in over a monitor from her home in orbit. So there's a short 2-minute YouTube video on it. Definitely check it out. Very, very cool. The crowd was totally psyched, and a lot of cosplay going on. So, but she has not spotted any Cylons yet. So just be aware. No Cylons at the International Space Station, as we know. Google has announced the state winner of its Doodle for Google contest. This year's range of artwork focused on how students take care of their minds, body, and spirits. Do they have a bunch of pictures? I don't see the ones that they have. So I guess we'll have to link to the show notes. And, there's a gallery of the 54 winners. Where's it at? I'm looking at the article, but I do not see a link, which sucks. So anyway, we'll have to do some searching around for you on that. Moving on, Waymo, an autonomous vehicle, was attacked by an erratic pedestrian in Arizona, more than likely someone drunk, because it happened at 2 o'clock in the morning. The individual jumped on the hood of the vehicle and then started hitting the windshield with his hand. Now, think about that. Ow. And apparently broke the windshield and hurt the driver inside. Sounds like someone that's maybe a little too much liquor, a little too much of a controlled substance of some sorts. But my goodness. And police apprehended the suspect, and the Waymo person was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. So I guess this is a thing. People are taking swipes at Waymo vehicles. The driver actually took over and stopped the car before things could get out of hand, but it's crazy. A new Chromebook feature could boost your laptop's battery life quote unquote, eventually. Expect this feature in Chrome OS 105, which is 2 versions down the road. Many browsers, including Chrome, idle background tabs, which reduces their active CPU time and thus idle their effects on the laptop's battery life. In Chrome, a page is currently idled with its CPU load throttled after it spent 5 minutes in the background. So what Google is proposing to do is throttle the page CPU load after just 10 seconds, not the current 5. If it goes to the background, I think this is a great idea. Don't keep using CPUs. You really don't need those CPUs when it's in the background. Tesla's in the news again. U.S. regulators are opening special investigation into Cruise AV crash. So the agency's special crash investigation team officially launched. Oh, it wasn't Tesla. It was on Cruise. Sorry. The agency's special crash investigation team officially launched an inquiry, and NHTSA special crash investigators program focused on cases useful for examining special crash circumstances. So I guess they're looking at 2 different events. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a story in here where Tesla's getting looked at as well. It appears, Elon Musk, I don't know if you guys knew this. He's got 9 kids. Now he has 9. So Elon Musk has some pretty steep views on declining birth rates. And Elon had posted about some children some children that had been born that he fathered. And apparently the billionaire quietly fathered a set of twins from a Neuralink executive and somebody from another partner of his. I think he's had 3 children recently. And again, don't quote me on that, but he basically Elon is saying babies we're in a decline, population decline. Babies born in the U.S. are at 1950 levels, but that doesn't mean that the bosses should sleep with subordinates to try to remedy the situation. Someone tweeted by the name of Burry. He is something that shorted during the stock crash or the housing crash in 2008. And yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know he had that many kids. He had 6, I guess, with his first wife. And now 3 more. So that's pretty impressive. Also, Tesla reportedly nowhere near the goal of installing 1,000 solar roofs a week. 5.5 years on, Tesla solar roofs are looking less like a revelation and more like a hobby. Citing an anonymous source, Electric reports that Tesla installed just 2.5 megawatts of solar roofs in the second quarter. That would equate to about 260 medium-sized home installations last quarter, or roughly 20 a week. Per some of the basically, it's just some back of napkin math. But be honest with you, it's a pain to get solar put in. And sometimes regulatory stuff in some cities and states are not super friendly to it. So, getting solar put on is a great idea if you're in a good sun zone. But I don't know. It's expensive. Oh, here it is. 2 new fatal Tesla crashes are being examined by U.S. investigators. A pedestrian was killed in California, and 2 other people were killed in Florida. The crash took place on Interstate 75, where Tesla vehicle smashed into the rear of a stationary tractor trailer. It was parked at a truck stop. 2 people inside the Tesla driving past were killed. A spokesperson for the NHTSA said the agent was aware of the crash and was currently in communication with Tesla. And also the Florida Highway Patrol said that the vehicle crashed into the truck for unknown reasons. They're also looking into 16 crashes in which Tesla owners using autopilot crashing into stationary emergency vehicles, resulting in 15 injuries and 1 fatality. Most of these incidents took place after dark, with the software ignoring scene control messages, including warning lights, flares, etc. From July of 21 to May 21-22, there were 273 crashes involving Tesla vehicles using autopilot. The EV's company crash represent the bulk of the 392 crashes reported during the period. So a lot of people, I think, are relying on autopilot way, way, way too much. Hey, if you're watching the show, make sure you check in and say hello. Love to hear from you while we're doing the live podcast. Meta's going to go after some folks that are data scraping, basically saying some companies are taking too much information, that they allow some, but these companies are taking too much. That's not surprising whatsoever. But the White House has confirmed Tesla is working on an open supercharger network in North America. Non-Tesla vehicles could be using proprietary power system by year's end. So that's an interesting move here. I think we were going to know this, but when Tesla launched its supercharger stations, it really did so with little thought of interoperability. And but as other companies have entered the EV market in recent years, the demand for charging station has steadily risen. The number of charging stations here in my town has not increased. In 2021, he said that the company would open access to what's called a supercharger pilot program, which is already going on in 13 European countries, and it would soon be coming to the United States. Later this year, Tesla will begin production of a new supercharger equipment that will enable non-Tesla EV drivers in North America to use Tesla superchargers. Tesla spent the better part of a year expanding access to its European charger network. So the more chargers, the better. We're going to have all these vehicles. You got to figure out something to do. Netflix and Sennheiser introduced spatial audio for all. So Netflix users can experience spatial audio thanks to Sennheiser MBO technology. You have to have the hardware in order to do this. And only a limited number of Netflix content currently supports spatial audio. But users can look for compatible titles with the 5.1 or Atmos icons. And again, this is tied to some Sennheiser content gear, I guess. Let me read more about this. There's no question spatial sound can significantly improve the overall movie experience, which is a welcome addition in time with every new title is supported, along with updated remastered versions of older content. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe this is just software. So maybe this will be just a software application to the audio, and you'll be able to hear it through your normal system. We will see. Disneyland's social media was hacked, and some very nasty posts were put up this morning. So something happened there. So those posts were quickly taken down, but they had a little bit of a problem. One of our writers over at Geek News Central, Jen, has written about Apple Preview's lockdown mode to protect users from spyware. Apple has announced it's previewing a groundbreaking security capability that offers specialized additional protection to users who may be at risk at highly targeted cyber attacks from private companies developing state-sponsored mercenary spyware. Apple's also providing details of its $10 million grant to bolster research exposing such threats. Apple's basically said that they detailed 2 initiatives to help protect users who may be personally targeted by some of the most sophisticated digital threats, such as those from private companies. Lockdown mode, the first major capability of the kinds coming this fall with iOS 16, iPadOS 16, and macOS Ventura, is an extreme optional protection for a very small number of users who face grave targeted threats. Apple also shared about details about its $10 million cybersecurity grant. So it must be like a super, super hardcore mode. And lockdown mode, most message attachment types other than images will be blocked. Certain complex web technologies like just-in-time JavaScript compilation are disabled. Incoming invitation service requests, including FaceTime calls, are blocked. Wired connections with the computer accessories are blocked when iPhone is locked. So it goes on and talks about this. So it'd be interesting to see where this leads over time. A survey was done, and 28% of Americans still will not consider buying an EV. And I understand. I understand why. The survey of 8,027 adults found that 14% would definitely buy or lease an electric-only vehicle. 57% would consider one, and 28% would not consider getting an electric-only vehicle. Age, income, and education levels correlated with the willingness to drive one, which I find to be interesting. They said there's lack of education around tax incentives, environmental impact, and how an EV work is a significant factor in EV adoption. Some of us have questions about the transition to electric vehicles, I'm sure, but I think a large part of it is people are worried. 55% were worried about being able to get charged. No, 61 said they were concerned with charging logistics. 55 said they would be worried about the number of miles the vehicle could go. And 52 cited the cost. So I think the cost is pretty even to a regular vehicle. But charging, I think if you live in a city, you got lots of charging options. But how many times have you tried to charge those if you have EV vehicles? And there's like 5 vehicles waiting to get charged. I don't really go into this article, but Microsoft is backing off on facial recognition analysis, and they are really making people they're part of their Azure system to essentially reapply. They're giving new folks have to fill out a much more extensive questionnaire, and those that are already in the program with the Azure Face API have to have a year to go in and lay out their use case. So it sounds like they're getting wary on it. Link will be in the show notes. Now, this next one blows me away. Lock screen ads are coming to Android phones in the United States. Oh my goodness. The research shows that people lock their phones more than 100 times a day. More than often not, they see the lock screen while doing it. That's a major advertising opportunity. The company's been active overseas for several years, stuffing sponsored content on phones from numerous manufacturers. Now Glance are reportedly heading U.S. with carrier partnerships, and the first Glance integrated phones could launch in the next few months. Whose phones do these go on? As reported by TechCrunch, a partnership with carriers is a change for Glance, which works directly with device makers in Asia. That just speaks to the difference how phones are sold in the two regions. Yes, most people buy phones directly from the carrier, opt on a payment plan, and carriers have a huge amount of control over the software. In Asia, it's more common to purchase an online phone outright from a retailer. Consumers there have many more budget phone options, and OEMs turn a profit by selling in high volumes. Services like Glance can make up these cheap phones more profitable, and the U.S. carriers are certainly not going to turn up their noses at more money. So it's unclear which carriers are going to do this or who will be impacted. But if I buy a phone and they start shoving ads on me on the screen, if I buy a phone from a major carrier, I'm going to revolt. If I am advertised to on the lock screen, that's my property. Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine. Apparently, the FBI warned last week that people are interviewing for jobs using stolen identities and even deep fake videos. The FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center reported an increase in complaints about the use of stolen personal information, even real-time deep fake video technology during Zoom interviews by some tech job candidates to misrepresent their job experience or lie about who is actually applying for the job. The good news is the deepfake technology used for live interviews isn't working so well. Video tends to lag audio, and other anomalies can reveal the fake identity for what it is. The bad news is that while the technology for live deepfake video isn't mature yet, in the not-so-distant future, remote hiring might be fraught with the use of digital AI-enabled fakery. That's crazy. Remote work is up. Hiring people are often hired and they never meet their teammates. It's crazy. In fact, more than half of U.S. employees hired since the early days of the pandemic have never met any of their coworkers. Fake job applications also become a technique for state-sponsored cyber attacks. For example, in May, the U.S. State and Treasury Departments and the FBI released a joint statement warning that American companies were hiring North Korean IT workers. That's crazy. And if you hire somebody like that, that comes with a $333,000 fine, so you have to be careful. So beyond wild, really, really is. I'm not a video game player anymore, but those of you that are a Mario player know who Super Bowser is. Well, the fire-breathing dragon turtle lizard thing who regularly roils the Mushroom King as Mario's chief nemesis. There is a 2,807 piece The Mighty Bowser Lego. It's a supersized for a $270. And for those of you Lego fans out there and a Bowser fan, you can pick one of these up. And how big is this thing? 12.5 inches, so it's pretty significant. Out in Arizona, a Mars sailplane prototype soars during early stage tethered flights. So that's kind of interesting. They're getting ready to see if they can send a sailplane to the Red Planet. It's a long ways out, obviously. They're just doing testing. But they've done drones. So now I guess it's time to consider a sailplane. So how will they get that thing launched? That's the question. That's a good one, isn't it? All right, couple more articles here. Cockroaches, yes, cockroaches are skipping sugar to get more sex, and they're forming a mutant population. German cockroaches are evolving to dislike sugar, and female cockroaches are avoiding mating with their sugar-loving male peers. A team of entomologists found that the most effective mating pairs in the study were between female and male cockroaches who both avoided sugar, and that the last productive pairing were between female roaches who avoided sugar and male roaches who ate sugar. So what this raises issues with is, since pesticide products are made with glucose, a simple sugar to mask its less sweet toxic ingredients, roaches' diets and mating habits could lead to a new generation of pesticide-resistant bugs. So very, very interesting for sure. That's probably the weird one of the day. And also it's being claimed that vendors are hiking prices up to 30% and claiming it's inflation. Some tech vendors have hiked prices 30% over last year and claim the rise are due to inflation, despite inflation running at a far, far lower rate. The .com offers two scenarios. In one, a SaaS vendor sent a contract renewal that includes an annual price increase of 21% without explanation. When questioned by the procurement team, the vendor sales team say that the increase due to inflation must be passed on to the consumer. And then other, the application maintenance service provider sent an annual renewal statement with an 18% increase in the maintenance support fee, stating that the increase is due to labor shortages driving up internal staffing costs. Now, here's what I am telling you. Because I just went through a whole round of pay raises. It's rough. We added a significant amount to our annual payroll amount. We tried to keep our employees at a level that they weren't being impacted too bad by what's going on in the inflation standpoint. So I can understand fixed costs going up, but not 20%. It's a lot, but it's not that much. That's for sure. Okay, so let me go ahead here and get into I've got some email that came in. Trucker Tom sent me one. He said, Ypsilanti streamer shot during Facebook live stream. So this happened in Ypsilanti, Michigan. The live streamer was live streaming outside, and he was pretty well known. And they don't know if people that were watching the stream are the ones that came up and shot him or not, but it was basically caught live. So imagine that. I'll have that link up in the show notes. So Tom, thanks for the catch on that one. And I got an email from Bob. He said, hey, Todd, I totally agree with you on the ridiculous amount of commercials they now play in regular TV. It has got so bad that if there is a show that I want to watch on regular TV, I just record it in my DVR to watch it at a later time. This way I can just fast forward through the commercials. Take care, Bob in Dover. So it's amazing. It really, really is what's going on with television right now. Okay, so we're going to wrap this thing up. As always, your commentary is much appreciated. Geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Please support our sponsor at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Become an insider. And I do want to thank all of you that are insiders currently. I do absolutely, unequivocally appreciate your ongoing contributions to the show. We picked up a few new folks over the past couple of months, but your $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 donation a month makes a world of difference. It really, really does. So geeknewscentral.com/insider. You can become a once a month contributor, or you can do a one-time PayPal payment to us. It helps. Every penny goes right back into the writing budget. Believe me, we're still out of pocket for that, but the more of you that contribute it really helps a lot over the long run. So I do want to thank everyone for being here. We'll be back with you Monday for a regular show. Back in, no holiday on Monday, obviously. It's been my pleasure to bring you the podcast. I hope that all of you have a very, very great weekend. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Watch out. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.